The Arcana. For those who just felt a shiver run down their spine, you're in the right place. For the losers who don't know what I'm talking about, let me educate you. The Arcana was a mobile visual novel made super popular around 2020, 2021-ish that followed you, the MC, around a fantasy world called Vesuvia, while you romance your little guy of choice. There are 6 romanceables with 2 endings each. Originally, we started out with just Azra, Nadia, and Julian, but then the cast was expanded to include Muriel, Portia, and Lucia. Each and every one of them was super well written, which definitely contributed to the game's popularity. Another thing that the game became super popular for were these super lewd Pinterest ads. Oh my god, genuinely, you could not go 6 feet without seeing Julian tied up on your feed. Go! Shoo! Get out of here! I digress. I'm not here to talk about cute boys and hot girls. I'm here to talk about me. Good morning, everyone. I'm tansi.berrie. I make OCs and self-insert characters for fun. When I first played the game, I tried. I will be the first to admit that my art skills at the time were not the best, and neither were my design skills. At first, I had Tansy, a vague self-insert OC character type thing. She was paired with Muriel. Her assigned animal was a rabbit. She was very magenta and pink, and she had basically no personality. Not even in a Mary Sue, I'm so much better than you kind of way. In just an I genuinely cannot remember her characterization way. Bless her heart. Next, when I got back into the game, I want to say 8 months later, I made, non-main characters. They were twins, and they worked at a rival magic shop, and the girl one was named Tansy, and was with Muriel, and the boy one was, Mason or something, and he wasn't in a relationship with anyone, because boys are stupid. Needless to say, we're tossing all of these guys into the trash. Now we have our new and improved girly, Elelliana Shepard. I made a new design for her in mid-late 2024, but never really expanded on her until, lo and behold, the evil, yucky Stinkio got into my brain about the Arcana again, and here we are, onto the speed paint. I'll talk more over there. Going into this, I knew I wanted her to expand more on the replacement body aspect of the story. Oh, and spoilers for a game from 9 years ago? Sorry, guys. Anyways, I wanted her to have visible ball joint markings to add to the fact that she's just possessing a body that was a complete blank slate. Other than that, I wanted her to have a dog theme to her because the MC is represented by the Fool tarot card, who is subsequently represented by Scout, which is the sheepdog that we meet in every room. Also, she's green and brown because I like green and brown. Crazy. Who knew? A lot of this was put into the original sketch. You can see it in her little buns that are meant to look like low-hanging ears and the defined lines around her joints, and I wanted to expand on that as I kept going. I had her color scheme decided from when I made this little chibi version of her that's meant to look like the official art keychains of the love interest. So now I can make them kiss. Yay! For this video, I wanted to make something more akin to a full ref piece. I hadn't made one in a while, so I figured a little something to change stuff up would be nice. Plus, since Lucky and I's characters are friends, I thought it would be cute to have some little chibis in there. I decided to add in her masquerade outfit and her mask, but I add that later on in the speed paint. But while I'm drawing, let me tell you about her. Elelliana Shepard is a 27-year-old girl living in Vesuvia. Before the game started, she frequently visited and eventually took ownership of her aunt's magic shop, helping the community with anything that she could do for them. She got along well with Azra since they were both magicians, but she stayed in Vesuvia while Azra was frequently traveling outside of the country. She also made friends with Atlas, a bounty hunter who hung around the docks more often than not. Years passed and the Red Plague hit. The two of them had a fight about whether to stay or to go. Elelliana argued that they should stay and help find a cure, but Azra felt that it was too dangerous and they should go while they were still safe. They couldn't come to a compromise, and the two went their separate ways. Elelliana began working with Julian, a doctor she met through Atlas, as they both searched for a cure. Julian became more and more wrapped up in his work and didn't realize until it was too late that Elelliana was gone. She had caught the plague, and her frenzied state in trying to find a cure just made it worse. She sent off letters to Azra, Julian, and Atlas before sending herself to the Lazaret, where she spent her final days apologizing to any spirits who could hear her. By the time Azra had gotten the letter, Elelliana was gone, and all that remained of her was her charred ashes, mixed with those of the 6 strangers from the island. Following this, Azra threw himself into finding a way to bring her back. The night of the masquerade, Azra brokered a deal with one of the major Arcana to bring her back to life in exchange for half of his heart. Since Elelliana's original body was gone, her soul would have to take over a special vessel made to contain it. Conveniently, the empty body of the Fool, another of the major Arcana, was in the castle, meant to be used to give Count Lucio a new, plagueless body. Azra hijacked the ritual with the help of the main cast, the magic taking their memories in return for a wish granted and Elelliana's revival. Lucio's soul was left without a body, haunting the castle until the events of the game start. As for Elelliana, the ritual had brought her back with nothing but her personality. Her memories, skills, and talents were gone, with no way to bring them back. Azra tried time and time again, but attempting to remember her previous life just brought migraines and fainting spells, and he eventually left it alone. Her new life was as the talented apprentice of Azra, who traveled away frequently to spare his heart from the pain of not having his original Elelliana back. The story continues through the prologue of the game into Muriel's route. She meets everyone from the main cast again, goes to the masquerade ball, defeats Lucio, etc. I know she sounds OP as all hell, but I promise you I got this from the Arcana fandom wiki, so leave me alone. God. Anyways, the Arcana was my first time experiencing a visual novel, especially one centered around romance. When I tell you I was hooked, oh my god. I have all of Muriel and Lucio's books unlocked with coins purely from the sheer will and effort of watching ads and playing the minigames every single day. Freshman year me was playing the game in first period pre-AP chemistry during lockdown religiously. Thank God for social distancing, because I did not need anyone seeing me on my phone looking at shirtless men while I was supposed to be writing down Bohr's models or something. After phasing out of my main Arcana phase, I got into so many more visual novels. Off the top of my head, there's Jimmy Carre, Doki Doki Literature Club, Obey Me, Cemetery Mary, all of these great games that have really had an impact on who I am. I'll take breaks every now and then, of course, but I always find myself coming back to them. It's such a transformative medium that allows for dialogue-heavy storytelling in a really accessible manner. And the Arcana does this really well. You're able to feel the happiness, the tension, all the feelings that the authors are wanting to convey really clearly. All of their characters are well written with their own interpersonal relationships and motives for what they're doing, which honestly is something that a lot of other romance-focused visual novels can have a hard time with. All that to say, I need you to open up your phone and download this game and start playing it like yesterday. I know the fandom is a little dead, but it is so fun if you have some free time every day. Like, please take my advice on this, please. I don't really have a good segue into the final piece reveal, so here's Elelliana. Yippee! Yay! Hooray! Another video all done. I really hope you liked it. Now that the video's over, I hope that you guys can take the time to go play the Arcana for the first time, or replay it if it's been a couple years. If you ever feel so inclined to, I don't know, make an Arcana OC, well, my socials are in my bio for a reason, and you should totally send me any art that you make of them. Please do. I love looking at other people's OCs so much. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you soon.